Hello there, Mavericks. It is nice to see you here. This is Rob Reinhold. It is July 18th. I hope everyone is having a great summer. I know I've been talking with some of our traders that live down in the southern part of the U.S., and it is hot, so be safe down there, everybody. Let's jump into what we're going to be talking about in this recap. We're going to go over what happened today. Today was a pretty boring day. We'll break it all down. We'll take a look at the meaningful news, but we really are all about what's going to happen over the next 24 hours. We're going to look at the markets. We're going to score all of our currencies based on our scoring system. And we're going to take a look at the news over the next 24 hours as well. We do have two pieces of pretty major news coming up. And then last, we're always looking for setups and always looking for setups in crypto and technical setups in Forex. Now in this video, we are going to be using our proprietary trading relative strength and weakness system. This is completely based on 100% technical analysis. As a firm, all of our traders use technical analysis only. All of our traders, they trade our capital utilizing the systems that they built around technical analysis, and they keep 70 to 80% of the profits that they generate for the firm. Successful traders, they get bumped up and they earn more capital to trade higher levels. If you're a technical Forex or crypto trader, we want to talk to you to see if you're a good fit for us. Click on the apply link in the video description below and watch a 4-minute introductory video before you apply. Now let's go see what happened in the currency markets today. Here's our velocity score from yesterday's end of day video. And we basically said that the cryptos were a -3. So unless you could short them, you didn't want to be in them whatsoever. We said the euro, the Swiss franc were showing the relative strength, and the Kiwi was at a -2. So we looked at pairing up euro and Kiwi and Swiss franc and Kiwi together. Those were really good trades over the past 24 hours. Let's see what happened today. Now today, we're going to break everything down, but let's start off with the news of the day. We had U.S. retail sales that were below expectations. Estimates were for plus 0.5%, and they came in at plus 0.2%. Well below expectations. Guess what? Equities went up today. They don't care. Equities don't care about anything right now. They just keep going up. We also got Canadian CPI. The month-over-month number was lower, but the year-over-year number was higher than expected. So kind of a mixed report on the Canadian dollar. And if we jump in to see what was the movement in Forex today, we can see that that Canadian dollar actually did tick up. It was the second strongest currency today behind the Swiss franc. And then, of course, what jumps out at you is the weakness in the Kiwi. We have a major report coming up tonight in just a few hours with New Zealand CPI. That should either make this bounce back up or continue its weakness. As you can see, everything else was really flat. This was not a great trading day in Forex. And if we check in on the other markets, we can see that the S&P was up 0.75%. That's a good day in the markets. World markets up 0.6%. Crypto had a little bit of a down day when you take a look at the basket. Where was the move today? It was in materials. Gold, oil, silver, everything went a lot higher today in those markets. Checking in specifically on our cryptos, you can see there wasn't much activity going on in cryptos. Today, I'm going to go ahead and say that this was not a great trading day for cryptos or for Forex. We did not get very large moves because the market just isn't in that kind of wave right now. We're going to take a look at where we are. We're going to take a look at what's happening in equities, look at the calendar, and let's see if we think there's going to be a better trading environment over the next 24 hours. If we take a look here at the S&P is refusing to go down. We had a nice reversal candle here. And in both of our divisions, we said, hey, it would make sense for us to have a little bit of a pullback here. Just a little bit of a pullback, maybe back down to this 44.60 area. Guess what? The market doesn't have to do anything we think. It is bullish. It refuses to go down. Completely bulletproof here. Equities, I don't see any reason at all to call for a reversal tomorrow in equities or the next day. Look, it's going to happen. Of course, it's going to happen sometime. But right now, the markets are very, very strong to the upside in equities. Looking at the calendar over the next 24 hours, I really want to point out this one right here. CPI out of New Zealand. The New Zealand dollar has been weak recently, especially since the RBNZ came out and said, hey, we're about done raising rates. As you can see here, they're looking for a forecast of 0.09 or 0.9, which is lower than the previous. So inflation is coming down here as well. We also have CPI out of the UK. So look, if you're trading either the pound or the Kiwi, you better be watching, or at least better be aware that these reports are coming out. Let's go ahead and break down all the currencies one by one. Let's see what's really moving here. Our favorite currencies going into this week was Swiss franc long, and we liked the pound on the long side, and we also liked the euro on the long side. So let's see how those three euro currencies did today. Now I'm going to be pulling up our currency baskets. These are our proprietary currency baskets, equally weighted against all the other currencies. And you can see here, the euro here, this is a 4-hour chart. So really the euro has high based for the last day or two. We are waiting and watching for a breakout here on euro. We got a couple of long upper shadows here. You definitely could have been triggered if people are in euro trades. I think the trade still looks really good. You're really not being put under any pressure here. Euro high base still looks good, but it's not running at the moment. We come over here to the pound, and the pound has actually pulled back. So again, we liked the euro, the Swiss franc, and the pound this week on the long side, and euro has based, is going sideways. The pound is actually pulled back, and you can see we pulled back to this lower trend line. The pound is not bouncing yet. We need to see at least a green candle or two before we say, hey, this is a good entry point. But look, we are down near a support point. We would expect we're going to get those green candles relatively soon. But we do not go long until we see the price action turn. So euro is basically flat, going nowhere. Pound is pulling back. Swiss franc is the only one that's really moving to the upside. It was the best currency today, and you can see we have now put in about 3 candles of a base. We typically see about 4 or 5 candles of a base before a move higher. I think the Swiss franc is likely going to drift sideways during the Asian session and possibly be a nice breakout during the European session. So those are the currencies that we liked on the long side. What we liked on the short side is both dollar and yen. Now let's take a look at the dollar on a daily chart. We had just got that big move down, and we said, look, we want to get a bounce and we want to sell this dollar bounce. We are just waiting for a confirmation that this dollar bounce is over. And you can see here, we almost had it at this point, but you can see we are not breaking down. So dollar is flat at the moment, definitely not ready for a short. We also like the yen on the short side. But again, same thing. If you take a look at the daily chart, we got this big rally up. We turned down, but look at this price action recently. It's just saying it's not ready to break down yet. So any trade that you've made in yen short has just been, it's been a no. It's been a nothing burger, as we call it. Look, it just hasn't gone anywhere. Just hasn't really gone anywhere. So we're having a hard time identifying a currency cross because there's really no weakness out there. We know the pound. We know the Kiwi is one of the weakest currencies, and you can see we're right down here, kind of at the bottom of this support. Okay, there could be a little bounce here, but Kiwi to me does look weak. So if we're going to pair anything up right here, right now, Kiwi looks the weakest. Aussie is basically flat. That really only leaves us with one currency cross right now to even take a look at, and that is Kiwi Swiss franc. Kiwi Swiss franc is the only currency cross. Now remember, we do have Kiwi CPI coming out in just an hour or two, but I like this trade. This is the only trade I'm even watching and looking for. So let's check and see how this board has changed. The cryptos did not improve whatsoever. Really, the only movement we saw the Kiwi stayed weak as a -2. We did see the pound slide a little bit, so we're going to move pound down from 0 down to -1 as slightly bearish at the moment. We do like it on a bounce potentially. Aussie, we're going to bump up a little bit to a 0, but everything else looks pretty much the same. We are still looking at euro and Swiss franc against that Kiwi. So let's go take a look at some of them. We're going to be looking at those two crosses, and that's about it. Let's start out with Kiwi Swiss franc. Kiwi Swiss franc looks a lot like the Kiwi basket. You can see it is on a low base here, trying to find some support here. We're just 2 hours away from that report. So for me, a breakdown below 5370 could be an entry point. But look, it's right there. I don't like to have entry points that close when news reports are coming out. So I will likely be waiting for the news report. Let it possibly pop up, maybe up to 5420 would be a great little short-term rally that I can grab a short up there. If not, I may just have to miss this one. And we'll take a look at Euro Kiwi as well. Really just the opposite chart. Just the same chart. We've got this little high base forming. A breakout above 179.35 would be a buy on Euro Kiwi. So that's really all I'm looking at with that Kiwi report coming out very soon. Let's wrap this up. We got that New Zealand CPI tonight, and then we have the UK CPI early in the morning. There's not a lot to play here. One of the things we always stress with our Maverick traders is, look, the market isn't always great. You want to trade more often when the market's great and less often when the market's not great. I'm going to put this in the not great category. So you should be trying to find reasons to make less trades than more trades. Look, it's cyclical. We've had a great year this year. It's been fantastic. Just right here, right now, in the middle of summer, it's a little bit down this week. Don't worry about it. Don't click buttons for no reason. Keep your capital dry for when the market does turn. We'll jump on it and we'll have a good trading environment. As always, play relative strength and weakness. Let the market tell you what to play. Don't you decide it. Let the market tell you what to play. That's it for me. Thanks for joining me. This is the Currency Recap. Goodbye.